Hi everyone! So, following my video talking about the BBC adaptation of Birdsong, I'm now going to look at another adaptation which I really enjoyed. This time it's a film one, and it is of Marcus Suzak's absolutely amazing book, The Book Thief. So this is a book which, as I said, recently got made into a film, and it follows this girl called Liesel Memminger. And in 1939, she is sent to live with a couple due to the fact that her brother has died and her parents have been thrown into a concentration camp. So she has been fostered out to this family, and they're always referred to as Mama and Papa, and she starts this new life in a place that she's never been before. And the reason why it's called The Book Thief is because she has a fascination with books, but she doesn't know how to read. And at her brother's funeral, she picks up a book that the gravedigger drops and takes it with her on her journey. And her papa finds the book and she explains that she had taken it, but she doesn't know how to read, so they learn to read together. It was a really great way for her to bond with her new father. But during the course of her time being at the house and learning to adapt to a new home, a new lifestyle, learning to read, etc., a man turns up on the doorstep, and she is told his name is Max, and she cannot tell anybody that he is there, as he is a Jew who's on the run. So, so the rest of the book covers, this period of her life. I don't want to give too much away, so I'll stop with my description of what is about there. Now, this adaptation, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I read the book, I think probably about 6 or 7 months before the actual film came out, so it was still fresh enough in my mind to know the story of what was going to happen, etc. It wasn't like I read the book years before and I couldn't remember half the stuff. So with that in mind, I didn't go in expecting it to be exactly the same, because as with any adaptation, regardless of what it is, regardless if it's on TV or radio or on film, there's going to be stuff that's going to be cut out. There may be stuff that they've put in, there's stuff that they've tweaked slightly. It's inevitable. But for what they did with it, I was really, really happy. There was one thing, though, that I was quite surprised at, that they didn't really do, but then I can understand why they didn't really do it. But that is that this book is narrated by Death. There he is on the cover, dancing with Liesel. He's the narrator throughout the entire book. So he does narrate the film, but he only narrates the very beginning and the very end. And he's played his voiceover. I don't know if he is the actual image that we see of Death on the screen, because he's in shadow and everything, so it could be absolutely anyone. But the voiceover is Ray Fiennes. In the film. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It's got some really beautiful sequences in it, which you can see in the trailer. If you haven't seen it, check out the trailer, because it's very, I have to say, for a trailer, movie trailers nowadays, it's really if they have to do like 1.5 million different things, they have to have things go bang and boom and all that lot in order to keep your attention for the whole time. But I was absolutely I absolutely loved the trailer. I thought it was brilliant. It covered amazing things. But there are sequences in this book that are stunning. Like there's a time with Max, the Jewish gentleman who's come to live in the basement. Obviously, he can't go outside, and he always asks, "What's the weather like today?" And he has Liesel describe it, and it kind of brings more connection of words and everything, and books and reading, and she likes to read to Max as well and everything. But there's a part where he asks what's it like out today, and she brings him a snowball. Rather than describe it, she actually physically, she brings it into the house for him, and it really brightens him up. And it's that thing. It's kind of like the childhood understanding of war, or not understanding war, because as Liesel is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl living in Germany in 1939. She becomes a member of the Nazi youth, groups, and such. Even though she doesn't understand what that means, she is witness to a book burning. Even though she has no idea what this means, but she's absolutely horrified at the sight of it. She kind of gets confused about why it is that they have to hang Nazi flag outside the window, just like all the other houses on the street do on Hitler's birthday, stuff like that. So it is the kind of, it kind of in that sense reminds me of The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas in regards to the childhood perspective on war. But it's very, very well done, and the film adaptation as well do it very, very well. The cast are absolutely brilliant. What I liked about it is that how true it was to the feel of the book. They didn't do that thing where they told the story, but it didn't have the emotional, the gut, the realism or anything like that. They didn't like put shimmer over it, or anything like that. So for that, it gets a big tick from me. I would have liked it more if Death narrated it as he does the book, and he does in the book in the most weirdest ways, in which once you start reading it through, you understand it more, and I think rereading it you understand it more as well, in regards to he's always referring to colour. Like, I like the day when it's a chocolate brown colour, that when the sky's chocolate brown, and you're like, what on earth are you talking about? And then you realise he's talking about things in different way. Like, he keeps on referring to Liesel as having red, white and black days. And you realise that red is the red rectangle of the Nazi flag. The white is the white circle, and then the black is the swastika. So once you bring the colours together, brings Nazi Germany. So his other references is to colours for different people, for different areas of the street and everything. They all link up. So I do kind of understand why they didn't have Death narrate all the way through, because of, obviously if you said you had Ray Fiennes in it do a voiceover saying it was a chocolate brown sky day, the audience in the cinema are going to be like, what on earth are they talking about? So okay, I get why that was cut out, but still I would have liked to have seen it. I do like in the film also the depiction of Liesel's relationship with Max, Mama, Papa, and her friend Rudy, and the ending as well, because with Liesel there's lots of various things happen to her throughout the course of this film, and the ending is a sad yet quite nice ending. She, there's love, there's loss, there's joy, there's reunions, there's all the different emotions really you can think of her having to go through at that time of her life, and seeing so many things when she's so young. But it is very beautifully done, and I especially like, there's a particular character who she's the wife of a very well-to-do man in the village, well, the town, which is a kind of villagey kind of place where they live, and she notices Liesel coming to her house to take books, but Liesel always takes them back, and she starts like leaving cookies for her, and then occasionally she's there for when Liesel arrives, and they can sit and they can talk to each other, and she becomes this really, really important character, not necessarily a new mother figure for Liesel, but an adult who treats her like an adult and sees her love for books and totally accepts her for it, because no other adult, apart from Mama and Papa, there's no one outside of her family unit who knows about her love of books and has the same passion that she does for them. So to meet this woman who's in a completely different class than her, who totally accepts the fact that she's broken into, that Liesel's broken into her house to steal her books, to read them and brings them back to borrow them. There is this woman who accepts her for who she is, and it's a really beautiful relationship that they share. And for the short time that they had on the screen to portray that relationship, I thought they did really well. So yeah, it gets an almost excellent for me, just because of the little things, niggles in the book that I would have liked them to have done in the film, but I totally get why they couldn't really be done. But if they had been done, I'd be very, 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 very happy. But overall, I would recommend The Book Thief, both the book and the film. It did a very good job in portraying this story, portraying this world, and these absolutely wonderful, wonderful characters. So, if you get a chance to watch it, I recommend it thoroughly. So that was The Book Thief, and I will be back soon with another another adaptation that I really, really liked, and then I will start doing, I think, a few that I thought were okay, and then ones that I just thought were downright awful. But we'll see. I'll see what adaptation I now pick up off my shelf, and I'll talk about that. So I guess I will see you soon. Either talk about something great, good, or downright ugly. But yeah, if you've seen The Book Thief, or if you've read the book or anything, and you have your views on this adaptation, please send me a message, leave a comment. I'm happy to hear your views. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. And I will see you soon.